This week on the Push Pull Legs podcast, the Combine has started. It's test week. Join the email list to get involved, basically. And coaching feedback. What we think being a good coach is. And why it needs you in your business. 3, 2, 1. The ice creams are out, Dan.
Hey guys, welcome to the Push Pull Legs podcast with myself, Damik.
And me, Tom Hall. What's going on, buddy?
I have to say, Mars ice cream is a great shout, Tom. When you posted that
Thank
first,
you.
I was a little bit proud inside. I was like, that is one of the most elite ice creams you can purchase. In my opinion, like it's so underrated. Like I had the last ice cream that I tried and was dreadfully disappointed by was a Feast because they've gone really downhill. Feasts are awful now. They used to be so good when I was a kid.
I almost bought Feasts and then I circled back went for Mars.
You know what it is? Because like I had it, and I'll tell you why. Because the Feast ice cream, the actual ice cream bit, isn't ice cream anymore. It's like a chocolatey like ice. There's no cream in it. It's just like chocolate ice. And the chocolate in the middle is not as big as it used to be and all that sort of stuff. And it's just
that's what she
not
said.
What it used to be.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But yeah, it's a little bit. Yeah, they're a little bit like meh, aren't they? A little bit meh. But yeah, a strong choice. Thank you. I'd never really had the Twix ones before.
What's a Twix as well? Because that bit can't stay crunchy. That it's not going to be crunchy, surely.
No, so they are different to a Twix. They are a little bit different.
I can't deal with that because that's what makes a Twix.
That crunch bit right there. So it'd be interesting just to put a Twix in the freezer and see what happens. Just get cold Twix probably. But yeah, there's there's ice cream and then it's like little balls of stuff, like of whatever the biscuit would be, like chocolate and crispy and balls and stuff, like inside it in like a layer, and then with the caramel. It's good, don't get me wrong, and you do get more in the same pack because obviously it's just like a Twix finger. It's like a slightly chunkier Twix finger, so it was all right. It's pretty good, but yeah, the Mars one, a strong contender. Also, Mars over Snickers.
Yes.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, I think because Snickers you have to be in the mood for, Mars you're always in the mood for. So that's the. I'm not saying Snickers is bad. You just can't have Snickers all the time, in my opinion.
But don't buy into the Mars. I think this is generally for most ice creams. After you've taken it out of the freezer, like let it settle for like a few minutes because it needs to be like.
Well, I think that's the general rule with every ice cream. To be honest, mate, I think that's the golden. The golden rule is that. So here you can get ice cream delivered, right? Which sounds ridiculous because it's in Dubai and it's really hot, right? But what they do is the delivery drivers, right? They'll get it from wherever you. No, but as I mean, like, because obviously you think it will just melt by the time you got here, right? How hot it is. But what they do is they obviously put it into their little thermal things, which keep things hot and cold with a bit of ice around it. But by the time it turns up, it is perfect. Like it's a bit melted, but more melted than you would ever leave it out on the side on your own because you just give in to temptation too quickly. So it's always perfect. And it's at that point I realized, okay, now I get how people can eat a whole tub of ice cream. Because usually I'm like, oh, you couldn't eat this. It's too hard. It's too much effort. This was perfectly done. And I was like, oh, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Yeah. Luckily I've got the appetite of a very, very small child. So, I mean, I don't do it.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had any have I had any? Oh, Daniel, actually, yeah. I was trying to think because when you said appetite of a small child, me and Dan, when we were together, we normally go eat. And I was like, have I been into any restaurants yesterday, this week, or since I last spoke to you? I went to a place called Detroit Pizza in Shoreditch. I put it on my stories on Friday. I don't know if you saw it. And Daniel.
Thick pizza, is it?
It was like thick square pizza, and it's like thick as fuck.
Yeah, I think that's what John Clark sells in his.
What it would be the crust is just cheese. It's just like crispy kind of melted cheese that goes over the side and it crisps up on the side. So good. Yeah. If anybody's, it's not a big place, but anybody's around Shoreditch, around Spitalfields Market Way, Detroit Pizza. It was so good. It was.
Yeah. I feel like John Clark does Detroit pizzas. He had it in America and came back and was like, I need to make this. And he does it at their deli. And it's the same thing square with that cheesy. I know what you mean, the cheesy crust on it.
Yeah. It was really good. Because I
don't think they'll quite do them in Italy, mate, will they, when we go? I think the pizza's every bit different.
I'll be like, great. I'm gonna have to take because unfortunately I realized this after we booked it, and obviously I love Italy and I love cheese, but cheese does not sit well with me. So I might have to take a pot of those pills where it's like you get like the lactose kind of pills that kind of gets you ready for that. Otherwise, Dan is gonna be like, Tom, you are the fartiest human being.
Just don't have any cheese, Tom. It's pretty simple, mate. You'll be fine, mate. You just have pasta.
You can't go to Italy and not have cheese. Mate, they automatically put fucking Parmesan on their pasta. Like, I remember going there and I was just like, all the cheese on it? They're like, oh yeah, of course. What do you expect? We're in Italy. But what is good is that pasta is a completely separate course. You go starter, pasta, then main. Beautiful.
Well, that's what we like to hear. I've had quite a few messages, Tom, saying how it's really cute that we're going on a romantic weekend.
Yeah, I got
obviously
that.
After we announced it on the thing, they were saying, "Oh, it's really cute." And I mentioned to a few clients that I was going away to Italy, and they're like, "Oh, that's really nice. And, hope you and the family have a good time." I was like, "With Tom." I'm not going with the family. So yeah, it's quite funny.
It's always funny though, because I've always been on holiday with girlfriend or with my sisters as well, and I don't tend to go on holiday with mates. So now Dan actually wants to go on holiday with me, so it's good, and it's golfing related. So I feel like it's in a snowball. So basically, from here, then we can get Suk involved. Now that Suk is part of the combine. Obviously, he's going to get stronger, and then he can hit the ball further.
Then he's going to want to out hit you on the golf course.
Yeah. That's not going to happen, is it? Really?
Yeah. Well, the next time, of course, will be when you come to Dubai, because then we can have a week of golf when you come to Dubai next time. Then after that, it will be right. Where are we going after that? And then we'll get it. So, although to be fair, with the way the winters work, it'll probably be you back in Dubai again in April time. Then we'll all get together in the summer and go somewhere. Too hot here. Probably Portugal. Actually, we should do Portugal because I think Suk may be more inclined to go Portugal. So we do that. There we go. Easy. Sort it all out. Plan the next year of golf already.
I have a couple of clients with places in the Algarve as well, so we can.
There we go. Sort it out.
A little bit of hook. That's the only thing. Lovely. I don't know. How's your week been, Dan?
It's been all right, mate. Like I said to you at the start, it just feels a bit like Groundhog Week sometimes. I think, again, like I said this to a client the other day. He's a younger lad who's an online coach and does a lot. He travels around a lot and does all his coaching while he's traveling around. Obviously, he can be a little bit disjointed and stuff, but he's, a young lad, he's traveling and stuff. But I think as you get a bit older, when you become an online coach, you kind of just settle into your routine. And much like people say, oh, I'd hate a 9 to 5, you kind of realize that your online coaching becomes somewhat, not a 9 to 5, but you just kind of have the same day. So like for me and Mike, Monday's like a business day. Like we just do admin, we do meetings, we do calls. Then Tuesday for me is check-ins, Thursday's check-ins, Friday's check-ins. Sunday is again work content day. So it just feels like every day I know what I'm doing every day, and it kind of feels just a little bit like every week's kind of the same. And obviously tomorrow's golf, as we all know. After the podcast, tomorrow morning is golf. So it's been all right, mate. It's been all right. It's obviously some holidays over here now, so Isabel's off, which is, as you can imagine, loads of fun because we're having to entertain her a little bit. But yeah, we fly back to the UK on Saturday. So yeah. We'll have to don't know what we're going to do about next week about the podcast. Looking at just dawned on me. Yeah, we'll have to sort that out at some point. Maybe we'll have to skip a week and do double the week after.
Double podcast.
No. We'll have to think about that one. But
we'll have to think.
Yeah, just because my time is going to be stretched in the UK because I've got all my check-ins to do, and then obviously got family to see as well, which I can't be. No,
Dan's coming all the way to the UK, and he's not making the effort to see me. How bad is that? But I guess I could. Yeah. And it's just going to be. But then you get sick of me if you saw me then, and then saw me for a week in Como, then that's going to be bad.
Well, that's it, mate. That's it. Well, I've got to come back and I've just got to make sure I book all my tea times so I get enough practicing before we go, because I've got a week off. It'd be the first time I've had that. It'd be 10 days off golf. After that, I'll be like,
that's like normal. I played on Saturday and I hadn't played for 2 weeks. I hadn't swung anything. That was why I think I played a bit shit as well. I had not done anything. It was telling as my fairways and regulation show.
That's not good, mate. Sort that out.
My short game helped me out. It's all right. I've got that.
Also, as well, completely rogue topic of conversation, but I don't care because people on podcasts love the fact we talk about golf. Have you researched like personal launch monitors much? Have you thought about getting one? Have you even considered it?
I've never thought about getting one though. For you, Dan, I think because you can go to your club's range, it might be a thing to do. Yeah. But I'm not a member of a club right now, and I go to a range obviously with Top Tracer, so I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, so I was looking at it and I was looking at, we've got a Top Tracer, it's 25 minutes away, which again, over here is a long way away, but I know that sounds stupid, but yeah, and you look at it, it's like 20 quid a go basically here. So I'm like, okay, so if I go a decent amount of times, I'm like, okay, do I get launched on it? And I was looking at a few of them, and they're obviously not as accurate as all the other stuff, which is inevitable, right? But part of me, I watched a review of one, and one of them said that one of the most boring things about practice is just going to driving range, hitting balls. And they were like, some of them, the feedback they give you, if it makes you practice more, it's done its job. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like if you have one and you want to use it and you go and you get some data and you can see stuff. And it just made me think about like what we do with training and stuff. And I was like, it's kind of like, feel like sometimes going to the range, you just feel like you're just doing the equivalent of just rocking up to a bar and just squatting, not knowing what's on it, what you did last time, what you can improve upon.
Do people rock up to the bar and not know what's on the bar?
No, you know what I mean, as in like put stuff on and like, track it. You know, you'd be surprised. Some people, I do see some people in the gym do that. They go up to the bench, which has already got 2 plates in it, and just start benching it, and just go.
It's like, oh, can I work in with you? It's like benching hundreds, and you're like, yeah, okay. I don't think you can.
I was, see, I was looking at some, and I'm still not sure. Still not sure. I'm looking at the R10 Garmin. So anyone who plays golf, none of you do probably, but if any of you do,
none of you, no.
Then and you got one, or you think I get one? Let me know, because I'm looking around. I'm trying to figure out what I think will be best to get, basically. So yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Random thought of the day that's useless.
Random thought of the day. All right, we'll move on, because it's vaguely, actually, you've kind of laid onto what I've written about what we're going to talk about today. And in a strange way, and I actually hadn't told Dan, and it's something that obviously we're going to talk about just very briefly about what's happening with the combine. I'll give everybody a little bit of a week by week what people are doing, because that started yesterday. So we'll see what's going on there. And I've written the term coaching feedback. And that is a term of coaching feedback, is what Dan is looking for. And then just a few different things. And I know it's something that obviously both of us preach about if we're giving advice to trainers and stuff like that, making your product fucking airtight as possible. And being a coach, shockingly, don't need all the systems in the world if you don't coach properly. Don't try and systemize before you haven't got any clients. Basically, Don't just muddle
if you don't have if you don't have a coaching system to systemize, it's pointless.
Correct. Yeah, it's just like, okay, this is where I coach. Is it? Okay, cool. Yeah, Trello tells me. All right, well, okay, cool. Is it do that? Maybe a client should tell you. Like, that should be the precursor to whether you need to coach them or not whether they've just filled in their form. All right, yeah. Anyway, we'll go into this because I've got a bunch of bullet points that we can talk about as well from a very generalized. I think we both did a bit of sports psychology. We certainly obviously studied.
Sorry, I was being yawned tiny bit.
Sports coaching as well. So yeah, like bit of my my bachelor's degree did a lot of sports coaching in, I think, like that. But it's still stuff that I implement today. And Nicole, some stuff from Rodriguez and Brett Bartholomew I still use. If you want to look at coaching science, all that kind of shit. It's good fun. But yeah, so Combine. Anybody who doesn't know what the Combine is, it is a series of tests that people do in the States, because what happens in the States is they actually perform properly and have like tangible data to pick athletes and whether their athletic capabilities. Whereas over in the UK, they just make it up on the spot, and it's basically there's no kind of list of what everybody's doing, which is a bit sad. I wish they'd do it for like the Premier League footballers or stuff like that. I know there are people. So obviously my buddy James Ralph does a combine of sorts with his footballers, his own things, but it's just like tests that he picks out, which is what I've done for athletic-based performance. So it's interesting. Obviously, the first iteration of it has just started. So I'll probably run it again. I think I'm going to go either every 8 weeks or every 10 weeks, Dan. I'm unsure of what's going to happen in terms of onboarding. It will be growing, of course, into different sections. But basically, this one's more of a generalized plan. But this week is Test week.
Test week.
Straight in. Number one. Let's go. So all it is, they've got a whole week of their onboarding. So they've got like about, I don't know, 7 or 8 videos, like proper big videos to watch, not pretty big videos, maximum like 5 minutes, talking about what they're doing. And every single exercise or every single protocol has at least got a 30-second to 90-second video explaining what I want them to do, how they're going to test, what they're going to do, instructions, all that, blah, 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 blah. And they're basically, this week is about 9 out of 10 efforts, benchmarks for how fit you are, essentially. So precursor is knowing these lifts. They coach them through, and I've got variations of depending on what gym you're at. But yeah, they're going through 12/13 because iOS users are special. They get 13 tests. Mainly because I want to introduce people to what Dan is talking about, launch monitors. I want to introduce VBT to some people, okay? And it is a good way of doing it because it is data that we can use. And like what you said, if you use it and then you gamify your training, then suddenly we're winning and we're training harder. I'm like, shit, I need to lift this quicker, or I'm not feeling it this today. So we back off, all that kind of shit. So that is what's happening with the combine.
I would have jumped in on it, by the way, but obviously with back to the UK for 10 days.
So
then, yeah. But obviously, I'm back in the UK for 10 days. I'm not going to train. Then I'm on holiday, and I was just like, I'm not going to do this my best shot. So like, the next one I will be jumping in on because again, like I think it's really important, like that people who do have a tangible reason to train or a desire to do something. I think testing is a great way of, and often overlooked because people and PTs, online coaches, assume that they can't do it. And I think you're showing them how you can test and how you can do these things. And look, it's, if you can do this with clients or, all that sort of stuff. And I think it's for people like us who are interested in a sport, who maybe don't have, any other sort of goals really, other than just to kind of be a bit better. It does give you a reason to train, a reason to push yourself. And like I said, I'm just one of those dicks. So it's like, oh, it's just not the right time. Wait, I need a clear run.
Mate, not as bad. Obviously, I'm using Stridus, and not as bad as Sook. And we mentioned on here because he's obviously a friend, and he couldn't fucking do his payment properly. And he was like, I'm already one of those clients, aren't I? I am that client. I was just like, he sent me like 1 and then 2 came through. And I was like, have you double clicked or how have you re-entered the fucking, I was like, you know how to use Stripe. I'm pretty sure. He was like, yeah, my bad. I'm that client, aren't I? I was like, yeah.
You shouldn't have given him the money back. You should have just.
I was like, I should have been like, I'm gonna hold this for the 10 weeks, and if you do well, I'll give it back. Okay, that should have been the thing. To be fair, but yeah, you are right. It's just people don't. I think. In terms of just testing as well, I get excited about tests. There's that level of anxiety for sure about like fitness tests and stuff. But like I said to 2 of my coaches who work at me at First Base, they've jumped in on it as well. And they were like, yeah, it's anxiety, but like I'm only competing against myself. I'm not setting you up to compete about all the rest of the 15 people that are involved in this first iteration. But yeah, you're only competing with yourself. And that's why I've got the percentage-based gains on it. And it's like body weight relativity, and you've just going to do 12 tests, and they're not like complicated. Fuck me. If people think they're like, oh yeah, all these like, remember when you were doing your, I don't know, your level 3, and they'd be like, all right, you're doing a 12-minute run and all these kind of fartlek tests or this kind of stuff. It's not, these are all tangible to certain kind of basically fitness things, and they're simple as fuck. Okay. I literally, equipment list is like obviously stuff that's in a gym. And then I was like, you just need a cone. Sometimes you can do some of them outside and let some chalk. That is it. And the amazing thing with phones now is even with the distance ones, you can use the Measure app and it literally measures it for you. You don't have to do it. You don't even need to buy a tape measure. Crazy. So that all you need is a much cheaper phone than wait a minute. Yeah, you can probably buy a tape measure. So old school people can do that anyway. But of course I explain how to use that, Daniel. But yeah, it's good. Everyone started today. So yesterday was kind of onboarding. They went through their videos. We've got discussions going in the group. And then I've told Sook to fucking, on one of the most annoying things on Stridus, I've already let them know this, is it automatically locks what people can see for the next day. I don't want that to happen. I want people to look at what they're doing throughout the week so they can plan their week. But the default is lock, so the client can't see what's happening the day then on tomorrow. And then I unlocked everything apart from day one, obviously, because got distracted. And I was like, for fuck's sake, I had to do it on my phone. It was like, I can't see it. Obviously, Soot could see it because he can fucking see the back end of everything. But he was just like, yeah, that one's locked. That was fun. But yeah, always going to have teething issues. It's fine. But yeah, it's good. So everybody's doing their stuff today. I think they had some trap bar deadlifting stuff, some single arm pressing stuff. As you saw, I did my 5-minute aerobic. That was fucking hell. I did it on an assault bike as well. I was just like, fuck it. It's going to be ghastly and disgusting. So looked pretty quick on my time lapse though, didn't I?
It did look on your time lapse. I know it wasn't. I know what was going on there, and that's why that was. Yeah.
But it's good. Like, obviously, sign up to email list if you want to get involved at some point, or just find out some more information. I'm quite happy to send shit out, believe me, because everybody else has. Wonderful. All right, coaching feedback, Dan. Obviously, throughout this, I'm giving them feedback, which is cool. Like they've actually got a coach. Shock. But it's something that I know you and Mike preach about in terms of obviously your mentoring business, and kind of like, all right, have you got a good product? No. All right, well, let's sort this product out first before you actually think about scaling or anything like that. It's like, what got you to 3K? Cool. Keep doing that till you get to 5K or something like that. So talk to us about coaching, Daniel. And then we're going to go through just a few bullet points that we can talk about.
I think with it, it's one of those things where I think we see it a lot in the industry, and it's people trying to get away with the bare minimum, as it were. And I think sometimes as well, like people don't know how other people coach, right? And I think this comes down to, again, it's not a regulated industry, so there's no real system to go through. At least when you get a PT qualification, at least you kind of come out of it going, right, well, if I've got an hour session, I need to do a warm up, I need to do this, I need to do a cool down, right? At least you have an idea of 3 sections to it, right? They may be incorrect, but at least you've got 3. Whereas with online coaching, there is no structure. Like, how do you do it? And a lot of people do it how their coach does it with them. They just copy it and they just go, well, that's how I've done, so I'll do that, and things like that. And me and Mike used to think that everyone just did video check-ins. We just assumed that every single online coach, full-time, with nutrition and training, would get their client to send them a video and they'd send a video back. And it's only since really talking about it more, we've realized just how many people don't. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do and that's how you want to do things, that's fine. But then they're also coming to us, the same people, saying, I can't retain clients. I can't keep them long enough. I can't get results with them. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And we're sat there going, well, I know what you're doing wrong. Yeah. These people don't care about you. Like, you don't care about them. There's no relationship being built. There's no motivation. There's no coaching. It's just you giving them a bunch of numbers and going, right, crack on with that. And it's where, like, what you're doing, for example, the combine, is very, very different. You could arguably just give people numbers at that level, again, with the payment they've made and the people you're working with, because they're already training, they know what they're doing with that sort of stuff. They're not low on motivation, they just need something to do, right? But you're not even doing it at that level. Like, you could arguably do it, right? You could, yeah, and it might work a bit better. But even at that level, you're not doing it, right? But these are people who are doing one-to-one. So they go, oh yeah, you're doing my one-to-one bespoke coaching. And I'm like, okay, well, there's no one-to-one about this. As far as they know, they just have a relationship with their computer, with their email address. There's no one-to-one thing here. And I think that there's a big problem in our industry with this complete lack of personal touch to stuff. It's just, how quickly can we give this? How much time can we save doing it? How much can we automate, and how little can we do? And I'm
like, which is madness, right? Because I got asked by one of the coaches today. It was like, just from the onboarding week, and that's all they can see right now. He was like, how long did it take you to do that? I'm like, of all the videos and all that kind of shit. Obviously, I did like about 4 or 5 hours of filming people. Yeah. And then every single video I've done, I filmed myself and filmed over myself, recording onto talking about someone doing a fucking exercise. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably taken me 3 weeks to get literally everything done. And that's just for that week. And then times that by whatever. Obviously, you refine it, but the personal touch is massive. There was no way I'm putting out any of the exercises I prescribed to somebody without my face being on there telling them what to do and what they should be doing. No way.
It's just one of those things where I think, look, it's It baffles me, and like I said, when we get people come into us, and like, yeah, they obviously, when they come into us, they want to get more signups, they want to get more leads, they want to get more clients, and we get that, right? 100%, we get that, and some people are ready for that. But some people, I say to them, if you took on 10 clients now, you'd have the same problem with them that you had the last 10. There's no point you taking on 10 clients because you're going to not retain them for long enough, and all this sort of stuff. And when you start actually digging deep into their system and how they do things, again, look, of course you don't want to do video check-ins over doing an email check-in because it takes more time. Of course you wouldn't want to do that if you're just looking at it from a time point of view.
Because in my perspective, I guess this is obviously in terms of kind of skills, right? I way prefer doing a video or a voice note 1,000%.
Oh, 100%. Same. I'm the same, mate. I'm exactly the same. Like, I hate emails with a passion. Typing something out, I hate it. I'd rather just voice note, video, whatever, right? But it does take more time. So from that point of view,
my camera keeps going like crazy.
What a lot of coaches do is they will often get their client to send them an email or a check-in form, then they'll maybe do a video back, right? Maybe, or a voice note back.
Yeah.
And even that's a really good thing in online coaching, because not many people do that either. But our argument has always been, you want a video from the client, because this is how you make it very, very personal. You make this a very, very bespoke service whereby they get to know you as a human being. Like, we know in personal training, one of the best things you can do with someone is build a good relationship with them because they want to come back. Like, in my opinion, with personal training, online coaching, there's no real difference in the length of time someone should stay with you. But I would say that personal trainers, on average, like good ones like yourself, Tom, would retain clients in person longer than most online coaches do, because you are showing up and you're personable, and it's that personality, it's that connection they have with you, right? As well as the results they get. And my argument is that you should be able to do exactly the same thing with online coaching. Exactly the same thing. And you should be able to turn up on video. You should be being more present. You should be WhatsApping them. You should be texting them. You should be going out your way to be more of a human being and talk about their life and other aspects of what they do. And there's not enough coaches out there doing it. They just think it's about the 3x10 back squat, the training program they prescribe, the rating system they get on their check-in form, how quickly they respond to that check-in form, via email. And it's like, you're missing everything here. Like, it's not about that. It's coaching is a human to human interaction. And I ask all my coaches that I work with, I say, how many of the touch points you having with people are you and them speaking? Right. And by that, I mean, like, texting is a you to you speaking, right? That kind of thing. It's that personal touch. If they have to go through an automated system or another system or another way of doing things, whether it's that they, trying to find a good example, but like a type form, like a check-in where you get an email notification to say, so-and-so's done this, so-and-so's done that. That's what I mean. That's like almost like a robot interaction, right?
Yeah.
And I think that too many coaches do it like that, rather than the personal touch of just checking in with someone, going, hey, how's it going? How's things? How's it hanging? What's going on? I get clients message me on Instagram, fucking slagging me off all the time for my eggs, for the fact I don't watch Love Island, for the fact I play too much golf, whatever it is, right?
We have skipped over what has really happened over the last week, and
we'll get to that. We'll get to that because there's some horror stories going on there. But my point is that coaches are so quick to kind of keep this distance between them and their clients. And that's what's costing them. It's what's costing them the ability to get good results with people and keep clients for longer. And when we say that, people always think that it's bad if you keep a client for longer. Oh, it means you're not getting results with them. Incorrect. It means that they want to stay because they are seeing results. They want to see they want to get the next one and then the next one. And like we were saying,
it's no longer a cost. It is something they just want in their life. It is like a necessity.
And with health and fitness, there is no end to it. There's just goals change, things change, priorities change, right? And with online coaching, yes, you want to get someone lean, let's say, and you want to get them feeling great and feeling good for a holiday or whatever it might be, right? Photo shoot. Okay, well, then there's the next thing. It's the recovery from the photo shoot. It's the recovery from the holiday. It's the next phase of changing their shape. Then it's how you then go through then, okay, we're going to get a little bit leaner, but then we're going to focus on performance goals. We want you to get stronger, we want you to look better, perform better. You might be doing a marathon. Why do you want to do that? Who knows? But goals change, the goalposts move. And then also people's lives change and how health and fitness works within their life changes. And they still need a coach throughout that time period. And I just think that too many coaches focus on the oh, so-and-so signed up for 3 months. They've got to lose 12 kilos in this 3 months. That's my job. That's what I'm doing. And if that's what you want to do, great. But I think you're missing a trick. And I think that the reason that most people struggle in the online coaching world is because they are not making it personal. So when we talk about personal trainers, like Martin Evans used to say to us, we first joined, the word personal is more important than the word trainer. I never forget that when he said that to us. Never forget that in a million years. And it's the same with online coaching. You're still a personal trainer. You're not just different. And I know it's a different type of service, but be a personal trainer. Don't be an online coach. Yes, it's called online coaching, but be a personal trainer within that. Be that person and care about the person, care about their life. Ask them how things are getting on. I've had a client. I had a client who I used a PT in London, message me, Paul Manzi, messaged me. What are you doing? What are you up to? How's everything going? Signed up for online coaching. Then he had his knee surgery. So he had to stop coaching. He's going in for a knee reconstruction. Not because of me, but I may say he's always had it.
I've seen him.
I just messaged him today and just said, oh, hey, how did the surgery go? Like everything gone okay? And he just said, oh, Dan, thanks for checking in. It means everything. Thanks for checking in. How are you? How's the family? Like, just because I give a shit about him, and I know he had surgery on his knee, and I know that it's a lengthy process on the other side of it, and I'm not expecting anything from that. It's just me chatting. And I got another client of mine who been through some personal shit, and I just messaged him and just said, hey, hope such and such has sorted out. I hope you're feeling better, and let me know if there's anything you need, and from me or anything I can help with, because I know it's a tough time, whatever. Can you get a voice note back saying, oh, thanks so much for thinking on me, blah, blah, blah. And I just think too many coaches just see it as a business transaction, and they forget in all this that there's this huge personal element to it. And they wonder why then that they're, like say, clients drop off and they're not getting leads in and not getting this in. It's like, well, it's because you're not turning up and being a human being on Instagram as well. And they, again, take it too far with that side of stuff. They just think it's about fat loss. They just preachy. They're just talking about boring shit all the time on Instagram. And then I asked them, okay, what sort of stuff do you like following Instagram? Oh, this comedian, that sports person, that, okay. Why do you like following them? Because they're funny, engaging, they make me laugh, they make me do this, they're really opinionated. I'm like, okay, what do you think you need to be there? You don't follow anyone because they give good fat loss advice, do you? You don't. And even if people do give out good business advice that you follow, I bet you follow them because they're engaging or they're funny or they're charismatic or they have something about them that makes them a bit different rather than just the same old boring shit. And that's the thing for most people that they need to get their head around, is they need to probably be less professional with their social media, and actually to a certain degree, less professional with their business stuff, but not in the way they think. Less professional in the sense of actually be a human being, and actually maybe don't automate it. Don't find the quickest solution. Don't find the easiest way for you. Find the way that's going to make it easiest for the client. And often that's not the easiest way for the coach. And that's what a lot of them struggle with, is that they're trying to make life as easy as possible for themselves. But your job is to make life as easy as possible for your clients. And once you start doing that, and once you've got 30 clients getting great results and they're shouting about you from the rooftops, you're getting referrals, you get all this sort of stuff, then you can start worrying about how to systemize things to a certain degree and what you can get away with. And then you can talk about scaling. Then you can talk about what you need to do. But let's get to 30 clients first, right? Which is a fantastic income for a vast majority of people. You'd be on a par with some GPs, right? So some people need to get their head around that. And some people need to stop being so, and Mike talks about this a lot. Me and Mike talk about this a lot, but he goes in on it a bit more than me. But it's almost a bit of, it's the arrogance of people to just think that they can post a few times on Instagram and, oh, why are people not signing up with me? Well, I've told them that they can lose body fat while eating the foods they love. No one gives a shit, mate. No one gives a fucking shit. They've heard it all before. Why should they give a shit about you? And people are very, very arrogant and to think that it's that easy to just rock up, and that because they posted on social media a couple of times that they should get clients, or it's arrogant to think, oh, why has that client left me? Oh, why is that client not staying for 2 years? Well, you're giving them no reason to. That's why. That's why they're not staying, do you know? And it's sometimes, like I said, it's that arrogance of going, well, I'm trying to make my life as easy as possible. Why are they not sticking around? Well, that's why. Because you've tried to make your life as easy as possible, not theirs. So that's me on a bit of a rant, I think. But that's I probably just covered everything rather than the first few bullet points. But that's the thing that we go over with a lot of them, you know.
Yeah, in terms of like coaching feedback as well, and obviously you've gone in from, I guess, more of a check-in orientation of like online coaching and stuff like that as well. But speaking as our in-person coach. There's certain things that kind of just feedback as well. So in terms of, I've written just a few things. It's a video that could be in terms of obviously video from the client to them, but just an FYI, I'm assuming I know Dan's the same. We don't use Typeform, but we have our own little thing where our client writes something about in their check-in. You post it all the time and whatever. But with that, they're also expected. I also expect them to send me a WhatsApp video as well. And I'll be like, where the fuck is it? Like, why haven't you sent me? I was like, the bare minimum is a fucking voice note. If they look awful that day, okay, fine. At least I get to hear their voice. But they're going to get a fucking video back from me. But yeah,
and the check-in comment on the sheet is more a self-reflection tool. That's actually, again, as part of the coaching process, is actually an important part of it from a psychological standpoint. Again, like I ask for what's been your biggest win this week, right? And it's that whole element of them writing it down.
One of the biggest things as well, and we noticed it when we were looking at G Sheets and obviously Typeforms and stuff like that. And I was pro more G Sheet, because once you do a Typeform, it's done. Off it goes. Blump. Done. You can't change it again. And you never see it again. And whereas I'm assuming I'm correct in saying this, Dan, your check-in from the previous week is literally just above where you've just done, right? So you get to see it again. So you review where you just were. And you're going to be like, what did I write last week? Okay, cool. All right. Yeah.
And the other thing as well that people forget is that the way our sheets are set up is that I did it with a client only today. I went back to 2 years ago and I said, 2 years ago, this is what you were saying. This was your biggest win. Look how far you've come. That 2 years ago, it was a big win for you that you managed to get 2 bits of veg into one meal. And now she had a bad week, right? And I said, yeah, but look at your bad week now compared to 2 years ago. Your bad weeks are better than your good weeks were 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Exactly. Can't do that on Typeform. You can't do that. You can't have that level of flexibility. And it's really easy just to hide some rows and then unhide them so it doesn't get messy, it doesn't look messy. It's all still there. And you can compare back all that data as well. And I've said this to clients before loads of times. I look at them and they go, oh, my weight's at this level. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, last time you weighed this, and I go back last year, your waist was 5 centimeters bigger than it is now at this weight. So clearly you're a different body comp. Clearly you've changed. Yeah. I pick up their pictures, go back to their pictures from that date to this date. Here we go. Look at them. Look at how much you've changed. And that self-reflection stuff that, again, coaches don't do. They just go week to week to week to week. That's all they care about. That's all they look at. Have you lost weight this week compared to last week? The people are too short-sighted with it. And that's where with check-ins and stuff like that, like I said, with the feedback you give them. And again, I'm sure you're the same, with data, with lifts and stuff, you're going, okay, well, this is your PB now, but look where you were last year. Look at this lift from last year, and it's that sort of stuff.
It's normally a case of like, I set them out some goals when they first sign up, right? And then I will always refer back to that no matter what. And it's just like, okay, those are, you got client goals, but I write some shit down as well. And I might not tell them what I want or what I think they can do. But I will write it down in my little section and be like, all right, I want this person to be able to do this. That is my goal for them. And then I might drop it in every now and again. There's actually, I think I posted about James this week, right? Or last week. And he came off Blitz. And then he looked at his legs, and then we were like, we didn't talk about legs whatsoever. Absolutely not. And then I was like, look at your pins when you first fucking started. I was like, I think I made a comment literally on one of his stories, because I interact with my client stories, and I was like, shit, look at your legs, they're fucking ridiculous. And then he purposely actually went back. He was like, that's when I finished Blitz and I lost a shit ton of weight, and now I've just been training literally for performance, not for fucking legs. Just happens there's a fucking lot of legs in there. And he was like, shit, they're coming through, aren't they? I was like, yeah, you look good. So absolutely fine. Did help that you just got tan. But yeah, it's just looking back, looking at the bigger picture. If you just look back from last week and or last month progress pictures, I don't have a clue. It was realizing that was like fucking February. And it's just like, oh, right. Yeah. The training effects happened that quickly. In my eyes, I was like, shit, that's fast. Like February to now. I was like, that's really quick for that kind of level of muscular chain anyway. But yeah, magic when you follow what you fucking say. But yeah, we got in terms of coaching feedback, we got video that happens. Also, that happens with your one-to-one clients. There's a reason why even in the combine, I'm doing this. I might not do it for as it grows, or I might just do a select few, and it might be a different thing. I want them to video their fucking lifts. It's mandatory for them to video all their tests. Because I want them putting in their G folder, mainly because what we've just said, self-reflection. I want them to look, it's only going to be 10 weeks, but I want them to look at it and have some content and have some kind of thing to go, shit, that's my journey start. I'm going to video a bunch of shit, and then I'm going to video stuff at the end. See how much better it looks, maybe. Because there's certainly going to be skill acquisition in the next fucking 10 weeks. I can guarantee that. And that's going to happen. So there's going to be stuff that's going to happen through there, even if they don't like their lift hasn't gone up that much. I'm not like, yeah, but look how shit this one looks. In 10 weeks time, this one is easy as fuck. And then I can start using data, VBT data. And I'll be like, all right, yeah.
Yeah. And that's also a really important thing as well, is I think that, again, online coaches miss out on is getting clients video lifts and video movements and stuff, because I did the same thing today with a client. I looked at they posted the videos of their squat, and they had their 50 kilo and 55 kilo. She did sets of 8, pretty strong. And she was like, oh, the 55 felt like I wasn't hitting depth, felt shit. 50 felt all right. And I felt like I was hitting depth. And I pulled them up side by side. I went, they're the same. Like they're the same. Yeah. Like, look at them, look at the low points, look at this, look at that. Movement on the 55 is a bit slower, which is probably good. Like, if anything, like, you're controlling it and stuff. I said, you got nothing to worry about. And sometimes they need that reassurance to look at, again, speed of movement, but then understanding that often with weight training, there's a skill acquisition process to it. Like you say, I've had clients before do a video of them squatting 60 and then doing it 2 weeks later. And I'm like, okay, it's the same weight, but you're getting better stimulation now than you were then based on what I'm seeing. And I'll show you what I mean. And you show them.
Yeah.
And if you'd have just written 3x10, 60 kilos from week to week to week, you go, oh, you're not progressing. You're not progressing.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything right. And I'm like, well, no, you are progressing. Like, I can clearly see you're progressing. And again, right, it's easy, isn't it? Of course, it's easy just to put the numbers in and not have to look at a video and spend 2 minutes comparing them and pulling a balloon video and sending it back to them. Again, it's easier for the coach. Yeah. But it's not leading to better results. And it's not leading to a client.
There's people out there going, shit, you do that for every single client. Yeah, we do it for every client, but I don't do it every fucking time. Not every every single check-in.
But like, no, I don't, Tom. But if I had to, I would. If I had to, I would. Because
Dan's here
again, this is the other thing. Like, yeah, but this is the thing though, is like, so many people want the clients, but they don't want to do the work. So I'm sat at this desk now with you. It's 9:15 here, right, in Dubai. I train first thing in the morning, and then I've been doing check-ins from 10:30 until 7 p.m. Right? Now, to some people, they go, oh my God, that's ridiculous. I'd never want to do that. But they want the clients though. And I'm like, okay, but you're not doing the work. And I'm not being funny, but there are coaches out there who will outwork you. They'll outwork you. And they'll provide a better service because they don't care about cutting down on client time and that sort of stuff. So I've had an hour to have my dinner, chill out, and then I'm back on doing a podcast with you, right? Again, free content that people will go, oh, what's the point? We've done this for now, ever since we've known each other pretty much, right? Still doing it now. Yeah. Do I want to, again, no offense, Tom, but do I want to be doing this at 9:15 on a Tuesday night? Probably not. If I'm being really honest and I had an ideal world, no, I wouldn't still be working at this time of night. But I don't care about that because it's for a bigger purpose. It's for a bigger reason. It's for the fact I get to speak to you. It's the fact I get to help people and provide some content and be that person, right? And I think that too many people are focused on the wrong things in this industry. And look, if you want to be an online coach or a PT and you want the money and you want the client list, put the fucking hours in then. Because when we were full at the gym, we were in the gym back to back to back. I was in the gym on a Monday. I used to open the gym. No, I used to go into the gym for a 6 a.m. client, and I used to close the gym at 11 p.m. at night. And I filled those hours as much as I could.
He was asleep for most of those hours in between.
Yeah. But like, I just feel like it just really, as you can tell, it just irks me that there's people out there who want all these clients but aren't prepared to have the days where they're like working nonstop at the sat down, like with an office. It's an office job. Let's be honest, most days. Not prepared to do it. Not prepared to post content. Not prepared to film videos. Too much effort. Too much time. Can't bother. Well, don't bother trying then. Don't be a coach. What's required.
All right, we're gonna quickly whiz through this list. Just to show people there are other types of feedback in terms of what other stuff. So obviously data, big one. I'm a data guy, but yeah, it's just because it looks fun. And I think as well,
it's also good when it's combined with qualitative though. That's when the real magic happens, right? Like we just said about
it's just like And don't worry, it's not like data every fucking lift. Couldn't give a shit what Suk does for his, I don't know, lateral raises over the next 10 weeks. He's not getting fucking lateral raises.
Yeah.
It's dumbbell curls. Okay. Couldn't give a shit. Not tracking that. I'll be like, just do it. Fuck me. Go away. But I'll care about certain lifts for sure. Guess what? The 12 I'm fucking tested. And then there's internal feedback. That's pretty kind of, if we're turning from like an in-person kind of PT, all that kind of fun stuff. And we got positive and negative reinforcement. That is obviously something we learn from coaching science. It's like positive, negative, and punishment. And how it's something crazy, like 4 or 5 times more likely to do like positive feedback. Well, it's more likely to replicate behavior if you give positive reinforcement from negative. So people, when you're like, that shit, try do this, that's not a good thing to do. It should be like, that was cool, really, really good on this bit, let's try doing this next time. Or like, you've done that really well, I want you to do exactly that again. Don't be like, that knee was in the wrong place, that was terrible. Or like, that knee was in the wrong place. Don't do that. But like, all right, we can move it better. We can be better, that kind of thing. So positive reinforcement is a big thing for me. I tend never to, especially when I'm educating, I always try to get them to the answer and always provide with positive feedback. Never, that's wrong. Hardly ever say that's wrong. There's no point. It could be right in some sort of aspect. It'd be like, oh, we're looking for this kind of answer. And punishment, this is something that's always been done badly, especially for kids as well. Exercise shouldn't be punishment. You shouldn't be giving them. You should be like, well, you're not allowed to do this next set. That's what you should be doing. That's the punishment. You're not allowed to get better if they fuck up. And we just don't. I just don't like the punishment kind of thing. But yeah, that's all the feedback essentially we kind of give. Mainly, obviously, coaching, videos, personal, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. It's big. And then when I talk about kind of in person, the external stuff, obviously that talks into like coaching, and that is in terms of like environment. I give like tactile feedback if I want touch or trying to move someone there, and environmental feedback. I want them to learn about where their body is adapting around where they are. That is cool as well. Stuff to look up. Right, Dan. We're bordering on 45 minutes, and we do need to get this egg thing out of the way.
What is going on with some people making eggs anyway? Like, why? How can people not make eggs? Right? I don't understand it. So, Tom, take over, mate. I just don't get it.
It's shocking. Right. I mean,
scrambled eggs, right?
What was the thing I said to you when you had Bex and Mike's up there, and I just said, that is like deciding which piece of turd I want to step in. I was like, yeah, that is
just, I don't know, like just, and some of the other stuff I've been sent has been awful as well, by the way. Bex, I don't know what Bex did with hers. Bex looked like she had an omelette that she trodden on.
Like she was trying to make omelette, right? Or she was trying to make
Must have been.
Like one you posted was clearly he poached eggs. Fuck me. Like, did he forget about them?
Oh my God, Craig. Yeah, no, they're hard-boiled eggs, but he just said they were poached, I reckon. They looked awful. They were just horrific. And I had one today as well. Dean sent, I don't know if he listens, I can't remember, but Dean sent me a picture of everything before he made it. He had his bread, his bacon, his Marmite, his eggs. He was like, oh, watch this is coming. I'm bringing my A game. Then he posted it. I was like, the eggs looked like they were so overdone. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, come on, like people don't need to learn how to make eggs. And to be fair, I do get people messaging me again saying, come on then, tell us the recipe. And I kind of feel like you don't deserve the recipe, right? Because it's not even a recipe.
It's
just don't overcook your eggs. It's not hard. It's just giving a shit, isn't it? Like we said about coaching, it's just giving a shit, right? You can't take your eyes off your eggs in the pan. Don't do them in the microwave. If you do the microwave, you're an idiot for number one. And even in the microwave, I can still do it. So don't worry about it. the trick is you obviously make it in a pan, right? You make it in a pan, right? You scramble your eggs together, right? You put a bit of butter in there, mix it together. And the thing you have to remember about eggs is that they cook even when you've taken them off the heat. Right, number one. So I had someone go,
I'm having deja vu. We talked about this 2 weeks ago.
Like... Right, I know. Yeah. And I get people message me going, is it a low heat or high heat? Doesn't matter. I've done it on both. It doesn't make a difference. It's about how much you care about your eggs. right? That's the difference, right? And you just have to be with them at all times because it takes about 20 seconds and they go from being raw to ready. And you have to be there, ready. Have the toast already cooked, toasted, buttered.
See, I can cook eggs, but that's my flaw. I tend to I think I can multitask, and I'll put the toast down as I'm starting my eggs, and I'm like, shit, all right, I've still got to butter that, or put Marmite on it, or do whatever spread whilst my eggs are on. And you take your fucking eyes off it for a second, and it ends up being not as overdone as some people. Clearly, Jesus, I can't. I'd have to try.
But the thing
really
that
hard
shocks me about those eggs is that they've not even been taken off when they're ready, and then they've overcooked by accident. Yeah. They were overcooked when they took them off. There was no way that they got anywhere close to it,
Exactly. Jesus. Yeah. Oh dear. I thought Mike was all about omelets. I thought he loved an omelet, didn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, I mean, his were chicken sausages cut up in scrambled egg whites on bread, which just looked horrific.
It was the whitest thing ever, wasn't it? It was just like
he had no yolks in it. That's why he did it. Yeah. But still, don't post it then because it's
post it. Yeah, I mean, I did one the other week when you thought it was a fucking burger bun. I almost didn't post that because I thought it was terrible. Jesus.
Yeah. No.
Oh my God. Anyway, any other business, Daniel?
Not from me. No, not from me.
Yeah, apologies. I did scream out my camera's being weird halfway through that podcast because I've got my because obviously I use my my other one for most of shocking. I don't just use the shitty camera, but I've got that one plugged in, and this one has got AI and follows me around. But when in certain places, as you can see right now, I'm sure Dan, it looks like I'm at disco because it doesn't quite know because I've got a bigger gap here to the living room to over here. It's two different lights and it doesn't quite pick it up correctly. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
Never understand why.
Who knows, mate?
Anyway, I'm not a technician. All right. Obviously, you want more info in a future combine. You might be in a group with Dan. That'd be fun. And join
at least you wouldn't be dead last, would you? So everyone. That's all.
It's competing with yourself, Dan. Jesus. All right.
Yeah,
I'm literally all I'm going to do for you is just there's going to be one test. It is driver launch data, and that is all we're going to track. So whatever plan you get put on, and we're just going to go. All right, Dan needs to hit the ball further, and we're just going to track that week to week. Beautiful. Give you a speed stick. That's what they use in it. So that's what they've. I loved that actually. There was Rick Shields and then his lad, a guy were talking about Matt Fitzpatrick adding speed. They were like, yeah, I think he's been using one of those speed sticks, isn't he? Yeah, that's what he's put it down to. Fucking hit the gym, you morons. Come on.
Yeah.
He's invested the millions he's earned from golf on an S&C coach. Probably.
Yes.
If there's any golfers out there, then I'm quite happy. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Catch you next week.
See you later.